So Randy Orton has been posting that he might be leaving the WWE to go to All Elite Wrestling. So obviously the WWE is really freaked out about this, and I'm confused of why. Just let the guy go already. You're doing nothing with him. What are his biggest accolades he has going on right now? He lost to Kofi Kingston, and he teamed up with the Revival, a team that's at their absolute best. Randy Orton has been with this company for his entire life. Just let the guy go already. There's nothing going on with Randy Orton story wise. So if you let him go, you're saving a ton of money because he's only going to want to stay if you're going to give him some kind of huge Brock Lesnar or CM Punk type of contract. And if he goes to All Elite Wrestling, what are they going to get? A couple of years of Randy Orton in his prime, and that's it? The WWE's biggest problem is that they have all this ridiculous, incredible talent, and they're not using them because they have guys like Randy Orton still on the roster who soaks up a roster spot. And the problem is, Randy Orton is a clear Hall of Famer. He's one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. He's my favorite wrestler of all time, but he's not new. He's not interesting. So the problem is, if you want to keep him on the roster, you have to give him title shots. You have to give him something going on. And the only thing I could think of to have Randy Orton do is fight Brock Lesnar for the title. Because they had that massive, massive brawl at the pay per view that resulted in Randy Orton getting his head busted open. And since that day, there has not been a Randy Orton and Brock Lesnar encounter. That is the only thing I could think of doing with Randy Orton. Other than that, there's nothing that comes to mind. Because let's say if they say, okay, you're gonna team up with the Revival, and you guys are gonna be a great three-man team. How long is that gonna go on for? There's nothing about them that would scream good. At least when he teamed up with Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase, it was a team of legacy because their fathers were there before, and now the sons are taking over, and that was cool. It was well done. This looks like one of those simple things of you throw all the toys on the ground and pick up two and say, "Hey, Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre would be a cool team." And you know what? That worked out really, really well. And will it work out with the Revival? Possibly. I think Randy Orton could carry the team, but it's like teaming him up with the B team. It's just out of nowhere and doesn't fit perfectly at all. So I'm okay with Randy Orton leaving. Not because I'd like to watch him fight Kenny Omega and stuff like that. I'm okay with him leaving the WWE because he has given every possible ounce of his soul to this company. And we have seen him in huge matches. We've seen iconic moments with Randy Orton, and just let him go because you're keeping guys like Goldberg around. You're trying to bring back Sting and the Undertaker still around. So what's Randy Orton gonna do? He's gonna stay and just fight at WrestleManias? Meanwhile, you have guys like EC3 that's just sitting there with a red Solo Cup in his hand doing nothing. You have guys like I don't know Ty Dillinger that are just itching to get out of their contract to go to AEW, and the same thing with Luke Harper. I mean, Luke Harper, his time was a couple of years ago when he was fighting Randy Orton, when he was fighting Bray Wyatt. And WrestleMania should have ended with Luke Harper winning the championship in a triple threat match against Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton. That was your time to use Luke Harper. And just like Randy Orton, his time is come and gone. And now, what's Luke Harper gonna do now? He's gonna team with Eric Rowan and then do what exactly? Nothing. So, Randy Orton, let him go to All Elite Wrestling. Luke Harper, let him go to All Elite Wrestling. The Revival, let them go. If you don't have an idea of what to do with these guys, all four of them, just let them go. Because all you're going to do as Vince McMahon is throw a ton of money at these guys because you think it's embarrassing for them to leave. I think it's more embarrassing to keep them because not only are you just wasting them in matches and taking away from other talent, you're just paying these guys money to stay and do nothing. And it's not bad to say, especially with Randy Orton, to have a guy that has been there from the beginning of his career and has given you absolutely everything he can offer and just letting them walk away. That's not a bad thing. Because the alternative is having him fight Triple H at Super Showdown or having him, I don't know, enter a Royal Rumble and try to make some moments and that's it. And if you're Randy Orton, why do you want to stay for something like that? Why would you want to stay when you know you have a lot of wrestling to give? Why would you want to stay and just do nothing? So, I'm Joe from Go and Go's podcast, and let me know what you think. Do you think Randy Orton should just shut up and stay? Do you think Luke Harper should just shut up and stay? Or do you think the Revival should just shut up and stay?